Welcome to Repair Shop Reckoning, the race to zero. You have Kevin here and Jason.
What up?
So today we are going to talk about policies and procedures, and we're going to talk about what costs flat rate technicians so much money and why, if we have management and good leadership, we could fix a lot of these problems. There's a lot of me and Chris talk about, and everybody's in the comments, flat rate needs to die. It's not a management problem. It's not this. It's not that. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to break it down. I actually sat down this weekend and wrote and then had typed it out. This wasn't Chat GPT. I actually went through it in Word, and I use Chat GPT for some ideas that I possibly missed, but I'm going to try to talk really slow and be really complicated today, but try to break it down very simply and give a lot of information, because number one thing I keep getting from people, and one guy actually messaged me and said, hey, I was a master tech at Harley. I was this and that. I want to know, what management expects out of us. We get good guys in here. We don't take care of them. We waste their time. And then, they don't make no money, and then they quit moving on. And nobody thinks it's leadership problem. It's management and leadership problems. It really is.
And they're going around and they get so angry about flat rate, and it comes down to the leadership problems. And we just went through some of these notes, the detailed checkpoints that cause the problems.
Yeah, and what we're going to do to make it simple, I started out at $45 an hour, which I paid my CMB tax, but it was at 75 cents a minute. So I just rounded up, guys, don't hear me now, to $60 an hour flat rate. So we just talked about $1 a minute, right? And I want to keep this simple. I am not doing this necessarily for the guys that are pros and know exactly how to make money on flat rate and all that stuff. These are more policies and procedures, and talking about flat rate and how to make money is for a lot of the younger guys who do not have the experience. So we're going to get right into it now. So I started out at $60 an hour flat rates. Think about this. 5 minutes costs you $5. And go on from there. I mean, 1 hour standing around during the day costs you $60. Now, with that being said, I'm going to keep going. We're going to stretch it out to a year, to a month, right? So 10 minutes a day is $200 a month. And I did this on 240 work days in a year, 5 days a week.
Yep.
$400 a year if you waste 10 minutes a day. We all know 10 minutes a day is wasted by somebody else in a flat rate technician's life on a daily basis. 15 minutes is $300 a month, $3,600 a year. 30 minutes is $600 a month, $7,200 a year. 1 day, 1 hour per day for a year is $14,400. Okay, that's why these flat rate techs need to start pushing back. And I'm going to get into DBIs and stuff like that. It's unpaid labor kills these guys. Okay.
What do you think about Dustin pulling in the 16 cars?
Exactly. So here we go. So let's break down where. Page 2 is where the time actually goes. Parts in the front counter. Turn my paper over. Am I going too fast? Parts department delays. Okay. Parts are not pre-pulled. What does that mean? Well, at my shop, when a customer comes in and says we want an oil change, and that's one of the things on the work order, we go out, pull the parts off the shelf, put the oil filter or whatever, and put it on the tech shelf with a tag on it, what RO it goes to right away. That way, if it's not there, we order it. So by the time the guy gets the car in, the oil filter's there. Little things like that. Think about that, right?
And so I imagine you didn't just come out of the gates thinking, like, I got to do this. Like this. I imagine there's had to been a lot of trial and error to develop these.
Job was dispatched before the parts were verified, meaning, oh, hey, we wrote this car for an oil change and needs an oil change and stuff like that. The tech pulls it in, racks it up and everything. And this is partly the tech's fault. Doesn't go see the oil filter's not on the shelf. We don't have the oil because it's a special oil. All of a sudden he goes back up to the parts, the service advisor, the parts guy. Hey, I need oil and oil filter. Oh shit. Yeah, they have it down the street. Let me get it. Half an hour goes by. Guess how much that just cost you? $. That's a $60 an hour flat rate.
Yep.
Okay. Wrong parts. Okay. That's a tough one. And we're having a lot more problems in the industry with parts guys not knowing what the hell they're doing. Just like, they're retiring the good parts guys. So you get a job, you sell a water pump that's leaking and you think it's a simple job. You get it all tore apart. Stop thinking, man, I'm kicking ass on this thing. The parts are going to show up on it, pop it in. And the parts guy picked the wrong part or didn't verify they had in stock when he sold the job.
Yeah.
Like that's for the independent. The dealer, I'm sure they would tell you they have in stock or not if you're staying at the parts counter as a tacker, as far as that goes. The parts arrive, but the service advisor, an independent or whatever, is taking around or whatever. The parts guy doesn't put it in the right spot. Whatever happens, and the technician's not notified his parts are there. So maybe he's doing something else. He can finish this job, and an hour goes by. He's like, "Oh shit, where's my parts? Oh, hey bro, sorry, they're right here. I just didn't get time to put them on your shelf." Okay. In our shop, when we do a PO number, we have a dash and then the technician's name. All of our parts suppliers are trained. They go put the parts on the technician's shelf. And at that point, we tell the technician, the parts are there, and we clock the repair order or the invoice into the repair order. So a lot of times my guys on their toolboxes, they have laptops, and we have shopware, so it's got boxes. So if their parts are ordered, it'll say OTW on the way. So when they notice, like if they're waiting for parts, they can literally look at their toolbox, look over and say, "Oh, parts are here because the OTA on the way went off. The little yellow box went off the screen." So that's a little efficient.
Yep.
Back orders, we go to order these things, and this sometimes is the parts guy's fault at the dealer or whatever. They, oh yeah, this is the price on. Here's the part number. You call back. Oh shit, that's on back order. Okay, that's a problem.
Yep.
That's kind of a problem that the parts guy should have told. Possibly that happens quite a bit nowadays, even though Jim Farley doesn't say it, that they don't have a parts problem. They do have a parts problem. And then a lot of times, like when we ordered headliners for that high top Transit, it was called a vendor ship. So the dealership they ordered them, but they couldn't even tell where they were till they shipped. Then they got a tracking number.
Oh, wow.
Okay, in today's world,
that's crazy. Yeah.
So what's this looks like? The technician's walking back and forth to the parts department, the service advisor, or whatever. Okay, you're in a huge dealership. You walk back and forth. Bob talks to you. Hey, what'd you do this weekend? You walk there. You do this. You could waste 20 minutes. So what is 20 minutes? $50. Okay. Okay, here's another good one. The car's torn apart on the lift and the wrong parts show up. And some of these shops, believe it or not, some of these dealerships, we've had it brought up on our posts, they think that they could put more technicians in if they just have more technicians in a dealership. If they take the second hoist they give some of these guys, so they try to work on one hoist. That's impossible. The idea of having two hoists, like when I started the business, I had two hoists at Hal's. So I have one car torn apart. I would check it out or whatever. I'd write the estimate. I would wait for the parts. I would pull another car next to it, start checking that car out. So when the parts would show up, I'd go back and
yeah.
That's efficiency.
Well, I even think about my workflow with editing videos. There's sometimes where I'm stuck where like something's downloading or uploading. I've got to then go work on something else. I can't sit and watch the video download.
Right. And here's a perfect example of the two hoist thing. Think about the efficiency how much better people's efficiency went up when you gave them two computer screens versus one. I know all my screens, because you have your email going on over here or parts diagrams over here. You could be working on the repair order over here. You could do a lot more with two screens, just like you can with two hoists. Okay. So think about it, a quick 10-minute delay. And once again, we're doing this at $60 an hour. Twice a day is $20 a day, right? Or $4,800 a year. Right?
Yeah.
So here's another thing. Service advisors not doing their job. We get lots of complaints about lazy service advisors. And I agree. Some of these service advisors are lazy. They're untrained. They don't know how to do X, Y, and Z, and it costs the technician time, right? So a service advisor, incomplete complaints, meaning, the customer comes in, and I always tell my people, you have to ask them a million questions to the point where they get mad at you. Okay. And write everything down they say. Don't be like, customer states car stalls. So the technician's like, okay, now I got to go drive this car, which I'm really not getting paid for a test drive. Yeah, I get maybe an hour diag. I drive it. Okay. I drive it up and down the road. It's fine. But then what they got to tell the guys, when you turn your turn signal on going up a hill on a sunny day at 4:00 is when it goes. That information, I'm being, funny, but that information would help the technician pinpoint the problem. But a lot of these service advisors, check brakes. I've had it in my shop years ago. I had a service advisor, did not last long. He said, check brakes. Jason gets in the bus. We'll talk about this. Jason comes around the corner. Just went to move it a little bit, come around the corner. There was no brakes. Okay. That's not check brakes. That's me. No brakes. So, now we take a piece of tape across the steering wheel of the Black Magic Marker and write
No brakes.
brakes. We don't say check the brakes.
Check them. You're not going to stop. You're not going to stop, but go ahead and check them.
Yeah.
It's funny now, but it's not. Yeah.
You know, or we just did it a few months ago or whatever. And, now we have to start the whole warranty claim thing. And then we have to write this up. Then all of a sudden we waste the guy's time. Parts sold without checking availability. We just talked about that, about, you go to call the dealership going, hey, I need this part on this price. And then they don't tell you it's on national back order. Customer not called or talk or texted promptly. We right away, when they're standing in front of us, we get all the approvals for their diag and stuff. So we don't have to, we try to, what I mean? A lot of times, sometimes with the fleets, their boss has to give the approval. We're like, hey, you need to get him on the phone right now. Because a lot of times the boss will answer the phone for the employee.
Yep.
Not necessarily answer it for the shop. Okay. I don't give a shit about us bothering somebody too much because everybody's like, you don't communicate. What are they going to say? You're calling me too much to try to get my vehicle done so I can make money with a freaking truck that's a commercial truck?
These people, they just want to get my work done. Like, what the fuck?
You don't do shit. You get all the way done with the job, take it off the hoist and stuff like that. Then you pull it out, you'd be done at the end of the day, be like, oh shit. Hey, Jason Tracy's car, he called at 2:00 and he wanted an oil change. So he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And he doesn't tell the service advisor. He used to do this all the time, and Jason can confirm it. He doesn't tell the service advisor, so we don't have the oil filter. It's 4:00. We're winding down to go home. The car's already outside. I think I'm already done with the job. Now all of a sudden I got to pull it back in, rack it up, and all that for a 2/10 oil change. And then I sit there and wait for the oil filter to come if we don't have the stock. Okay, so if I was on flat rate, making $60 an hour, how much would that cost me for a 2/10 job?
$60? Are you really? Yeah.
By the time you got done dicking around. So it cost me $60 to make what? 2/10? It's just ridiculous. Oil changes, the service advisor gets really busy. You got to make sure you have enough service advisors, There's this one guy that was dogging on me and he whatever. I give a shit. But he's like, yeah, I'm the head tech and I do this and I do that. I run my company lean, but I'm sitting on the phone for 27 minutes with the warranty company. No one to tell me I can't charge more for a part. I'm like, what's wrong with this whole thing? You're running your company lean because you can't afford to hire a service advisor because you let a freaking warranty company dictate to you what they're going to pay you for the parts. Okay, then they're going to tell you what they're going to pay you for the labor. They don't want to do DAG. They want to do pre and post scan, all kinds of shit. Like, you're wasting your time. And if you're flat rate, you're wasting your guy's time. So you want your guy to come to work for free? No.
Nope.
So, so if you think about it, 15 minutes of waiting 3 times a week is $2,340 a year. Okay? None of that shows up as downtime, but it sure does destroy flat hours, does it, for these technicians? Okay. Page 3, the unpaid work that nobody counts. Now I had to really dig deep into this one. And there's a couple that I actually stated, so I'm going to be very clear on this. Okay. Unpaid work, nobody counts stuff and DBIs. Yes, programming and relearns might pay, but sometimes the research doesn't pay. So in the independent world, you flat rate techs need to put a 5/10 on there if you can get away with it in your shop. You have a good service advisor because you have to do a lot of research nowadays. Okay, the dealer guys, I don't know how you guys are going to do it because a lot of times they don't want to pay for research fees and stuff like that. We do. We add time for if we get something, we got to do a bunch of reprogramming and stuff like that.
It just makes sense. It's part of the process. Yeah.
Looking up TSVs. Looking at wiring diagrams. Yes, I understand it's part of the diag, but you still got to look them up. And anybody that knows some of these shop information programs suck ass. It might take you a few minutes to find a wiring diagram. Or if you don't have the wiring diagram, you got to try to find one. You can waste a lot of time. It costs yourself $15 just looking for a wiring diagram.
Versus Tesla.
Yeah.
The post.
Wiring diagram, the Tesla, that was a connector view.
Yeah.
Out view. It's at 7.3. Why? Because people sitting there like, holy shit. And actually, guys are seeing that Chrysler had it, but Chrysler didn't realize it was costing them too much money. So they, Peterbilt, Kenworth, I think they said, and Caterpillar has it.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
But man, that would save a lot of time. You just pull up.
God, man.
We all know connector views, in some of these books or on some of these shop management programs, sometimes they're tough to find. So flow charts, pulling out a flow chart, sitting there reading through it. That's part of the diag. You can argue it's not, you get your hour or whatever. Connect reviews and pinouts we just talked about. If you have a Tesla, you're golden. Verify, specs and procedures, looking through it, reading through all this stuff. Maybe watch a YouTube video if it's not clear or whatever. And anybody says they don't watch YouTube, they're full of shit. There's always somebody doing something on YouTube. Proving what actually needs to be reprogrammed is a whole other thing. Some of these procedures, if I do this module, do I have to do this module? What about this module? So sometimes you have to prove what you're going to do.
Proving your theory. Yep.
So, it takes time, and most shops don't pay for that time. 20 minutes a day is $4,800 a year. Twice a day is $9,600.
But I want to say about this, because you had mentioned like these are for the new guys or the guys just starting out, that kind of thing. But I would challenge anybody, whether you're good, whether you think you're doing great in business or not, go through. I can guarantee you everybody's wasting 20 minutes minimum. And that's like, come on, we're all wasting time.
Okay, how much?
That's exactly it. 30 minutes. You're gonna look at your shits more.
I am assholes for making these guys do DBIs for free. Chris said it the best. So now you're a technician that's never been trained. You have to become a photographer, be able to talk clearly on these videos and stuff like that, point stuff, have the right lighting. Now you're using your cell phone, which everybody has a cell phone, but some of these older guys still want to use a flip phone. But that brings a whole big problem. So walk around. So dealers want these guys to walk around, photos and videos. What I just talked about, tire brake measurements, writing all this shit up takes time. It's not free. Okay. Uploading everything into the system. Okay. That's real labor that interrupts production, is usually not paid. 15 minutes for DBI, 2 per day. That's $30 a day. That's $7,200 a year. That's thousands of dollars of free labor you guys are pumping out because the freaking management told you to. This is where you guys need to push back and have leadership, start talking to leadership about this. So, okay, hey, we're not doing this. They're not going to fire all of you guys.
5,000%. Let's start the revolution.
This meeting,
I love this.
the efficiency line. Flat rate techs do not get paid to attend meetings at $60 an hour. 15-minute meeting is $15. What did you say when I read that first line?
That 15 minutes is the actual meeting, but you got 15 to 30 minutes of bullshit in every single meeting and across every company in the world.
Standing in a freaking, you're not turning wrenches. Okay, we have one meeting in the shop in the morning. That's when everybody gets dressed. They walk out and go, they all walk up to the board and go, this is what you need to do today. This is what you need to do today. This is what you need to do today. And they go break and they all walk away. One of the guys hourly, 2 are flat rate. We don't have that problem. I do not waste people's time. These guys make money turning wrenches. Okay.
It's really funny when you talk about like having a meeting talking about efficiency is down. It's like, what the fuck? You're taking my efficiency time down right now.
Right. You better hurry up now. How this is efficiency, okay? But here's the cycle. Tech loses time to parts, approvals, DBIs, research, flag hours drop, efficiency numbers look bad. Management reacts. Right? Think about it. Management's like, Jesus, look at the technicians. They're dumb, Meetings are scheduled. More time is lost. Efficiency drops again. Okay, you can't fix efficiency by stopping production. That's what people don't understand. These guys are hired guns. They are there to turn wrenches. When they're turning wrenches, they're making money for themselves and their family. So you can't fix that stuff. So here's the big expectation. People say, oh, I'd like to see 120% out of my tax all the time. Bullshit. I'm happy at 80, 85%, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. The breaking point. After all this, the technicians is still told you need to be at 120%, flagging 12 hours in a 10-hour day, making up for time that never existed, covering up for everyone else's delays. Parts department, your service advisor, your customer not getting back to you, the porter dicking around. You can't find a porter to pull in a car. So you go out and pull the car. Then all of a sudden the car's battery's dead. Then you have to go try to jump start the car. Okay. Just on and on and on. The service advisor can't find the keys. It just goes on and on and on. And guess who gets boned for it? The flat rate guy. Okay. So you got approval delays. You got free DBIs. You got unpaid diagnostic research. You got meetings. You got poor dispatch. You got broken communication. That's not efficient. That's covering the system's failure. Okay. And the end result, here's what it is. The technicians said, burned out. They're rushed to work. Mistakes happen. Causes happen. The techs are leaving the industry because they're not making any money. Okay. Why don't I have these flat rate problems? Because I'm better than everybody else. Ask me, right? Because year after year, I sat there when I was a commission tech, and I wasn't flat rate, I was commission. Okay, let me be clear on that. I would sit there and try to figure out little ways to make more money. Okay. A lot of these guys, it's changed so much. They don't sit there and think about it. I bet you a lot of guys are going to be thinking about this. There's going to be a lot of guys going, "No, flat rate still sucks," because I basically proved the theory that flat rate sucks.
Yeah.
Right? But if you had good leadership and good management, would you work under a flat rate system? If people were not wasting your time, people were bringing you your parts, like my guys, we don't waste people's time. And if I have to have my guys do something, I pay them. But a lot of times my guys are, don't worry about it. You hooked me up on that. Or like, I don't dick these guys around.
Well, I feel like you had the experience. You were commissioned, you were flat rate, you have the mind that works like, how can I make this better? How can I make more money? And so you've been through that process. I feel like from a leadership standpoint, how many of these guys have actually been on flat rate or been in that position and have learned how to make more money? Because I feel like it's a thought process problem or a mindset problem for the leaders if they're thinking that that a 30-minute, 40-minute meeting to talk about efficiency is a good thing. They've got to really sit and think about these things. How much money are they losing their guy?
Yeah, I think one of the things I've identified, I've actually thought about this quite hard. And one of the things that I've identified here, a lot of these guys that are fixed ops or general managers or whatever, these dealerships or whatever they want to call them, they're not technicians. So they don't understand. They don't understand that some of these jobs go sideways no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And sometimes they go really good, but a lot of times they go really bad. So it's good when it's good and it's bad when it's bad. They don't understand that. Okay. And then the service advisors nowadays, a lot of technicians are not going to become service advisors. So these service advisors, and mine included, they're not car guys. They don't fix cars. So they don't really understand what's going on with a lot of this stuff and how shit can go sideways, They don't really know, I don't have the problem anymore since I built the GPT and stuff like that, like explaining it to customers and stuff like that. But we do a lot of stuff up front, and a lot of stuff that we do stops us from having problems of getting screwed over. Like example, like exhaust manifolds on Tritons. Hey, you have two broken studs. Chances are more are going to break. We're going to go ahead and tell you every one that breaks. We're not going to call you back. It could go up this much or it can't, one or the other. And then we kind of tell them, so you're a hero. If not, it's an hour for us to drill a stud, put it one in. We kind of tell them that, stuff like that. Mr. Master Tech was talking about these people, giving them a hard time calling them on Sunday and stuff like that. That's all where policies and procedures come in place to stop people from getting wasted and stuff like that. So I'm very particular. Like it says right here, like I've said on my podcast, I don't have flat rate problems. I've said this 100 times over and over. I don't waste my people's time. I don't expect free labor. What we do differently is we put timers when the guys push a job to the service advisors. We get a time on it. It puts a time and starts counting. Within, we try to do it within like 15 or 20 minutes. We start linking. My son starts looking for the parts right away, and we start building the job. But we're busy enough because of our marketing and stuff like that. Some of these these guys are 3, 4, 5, 6 cars deep, so they always have something going. So the ideal thing is, check this stuff out in the morning, do the work in the afternoon. So the service advisors can be selling the work while you're doing the work in the afternoon, or vice versa, or you could finish in the morning. Like you always have something going together, but you always have something in the diagnostic stage. So you're kind of working on one while they're selling one. Then you finish that one's sold. You kind of just keep going forward. What do you do if you don't have enough work? Well, that's a whole nother problem with flat rate. I'm not opposed to guarantees because you cannot expect, you're a shitty business owner. You can't expect your technicians, well, you're flat rate only, bro. Yeah, but you quit, you stopped advertising through Google because it was $2,000 a month. You say we can't afford it.
Yeah.
But then you just bought a new snowmobile or a new motorcycle, Mr. Shop Owner. Okay. They said years ago, I don't remember where this was. They say, the number one thing people cancel when it gets slow in business?
Marketing. Yeah.
Marketing. That's not it. Marketing. Let me say this one more time because people say bullshit. Marketing is not a zero-sum game. Meaning, if you put $2,000 out, that's $2,000 that just got thrown in the garbage. Hear me now, shop owners. That is not a zero-sum game. If you put $2,000 out and you get 1 or 2 jobs for 4,000 or 5,000 or whatever, you're up. Okay. The deal is you have to have marketing that works.
Yeah.
This will segue us into hiring a company that actually does the marketing. That just doesn't do it for 2 months and then hit the coast button.
Yep.
And they coast and they don't do shit.
Yep.
You know?
That's exactly it.
Yellow Pages or High Boo or any of these people, they rip people off. They come in there and go, we're going to geo-fence your neighbor. So anytime somebody walks into your neighbor's shop, we're going to pop up and stuff like that. The problem is they never do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're your neighbor. And so what do? They walk right out of your building. Say there's 2 auto shops.
Yeah.
Walk right out of your building and go, we're going to geo-fence you around that guy. He walks out the door to the next guy, goes, we're going to geo-fence you against that guy. Then all of a sudden, your keywords are competing with each other, and you're next door, and your keywords are going nuts.
You're actually paying a lot of money because you pit everybody against each other, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, please. You need to fix cars or trucks and let a marketing professional do it. But I will tell you, make sure they give you a weekly report or a monthly report that's actually, that you can have to understand it.
Yeah.
A meeting and go through this stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Why I got into marketing on the flat rate stuff, because if you don't have the work, you cannot take care of your people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Coupons. Okay, don't give coupons and cut the labor. If you're going to a free oil change and you're going to do this, you need to pay the technician for his time. You buy the oil and you buy
it's cost of marketing and you still pay your guy.
You're getting the wrong kind of client. My thought on all this is, you got to take care of this. How do we fix it? Flat rate system is not broken. The way people are getting taken care of in the flat rate system is broken. You have the technician that's actually, you can say he's on the top of the bottom. He's at the top of the food chain because all these people are working up so he could feed him, right? But they actually have screwed it up so it's kind of gone low. And the technician's on the bottom. He's basically begging for everybody else to do their job so he can get paid. So think about this. In today's world where people are lazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to repeat that. People are lazy. This poor technician standing in the bay, hoping to God that the service advisor girlfriend didn't get in a fight with him because he's out in the parking lot talking to her or on the phone or sneaking away in the bathroom and stuff like that while he's got his jobs being waited to solve. And then the management comes in and goes, dude, your efficiency's in the toilet. Well, yeah. Parts guy was pissed off at me because I was getting on him because he wasn't giving me my parts fast enough. The service advisor guy only knows where he's at. Okay. And this guy's sitting there going, yeah, I hate flat rate. No shit.
No shit. Dude. I know this is your favorite analogy with the doctors. But if you think about it, like the tech is like the surgeon. And could you imagine if the surgeon had to go and give the anesthesia to the patient and like prep them and get them ready for the surgery and make sure that they had their tools ready. And then while they're in the middle of the heart surgery, they're like, they have to stop and go look for that next tool. And like, no, they have a whole team of people that are taking care of all that stuff behind the scenes. They deliver the patient. They have everything prepped, everything ready. The tools are ready. There's literally somebody there ready to hand them the tools. And to your point, like you've kind of reversed that situation where the tech has to take care of everything.
The tech's 2 hours, $120. Okay, then you got your fixed ops guy who's just looking at numbers. Let's face it, he's at the front of the house just looking at numbers, or he's sitting in his office as an independent shop owner, not knowing what's going on, not trying to fix it. So really, honestly, if you really stop and think about it, the flat rate tech is getting screwed, but we're 100% right saying if he had a support system that really cared about him, he wouldn't be getting screwed.
Yep.
Now, I will say this. I think it's a generational thing. Once again, okay, young kids have a different outlook on the way we do, older people, okay? We would get in trouble when we didn't do our job. Nowadays, we all know it. We all got the freaking crying Karen in the corner. They came out with the word Carol or Karen and Kyle for a reason. You got the guy at work that you can't say anything to because you'll go to HR and you'll get in trouble. And he's not doing his job and everybody hates his fucking guts.
Yep. Yep.
And he's not doing his job. So who gets screwed in this whole thing? The flat rate tech. So think about if you had a guy that really knew what he was doing and really cared about making sure the techs made money. How do you think that would look?
Oh my God. Everybody would love that person.
It would look like that in my shop.
Yeah.
I went out the other night all of us for Christmas, and we were talking about the flat rate stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, I wouldn't want to be hourly at our shop. We can actually say, oh, okay, this job's going to take 3 times longer than the book because it's rusty and stuff like that." It's like, how do they sell it? Jeff Compton, JD Mechanic, he actually said that. He's like, I do not care. When I write something up, it is what it is. If the customer needs to fix it or not fix it, I don't give a shit about their wallet and their bank account and stuff like that. He's like, you ever notice they always say they're broke, but they always can come up with a $700 phone or the Starbucks. You're sitting there, motherfucking iPhone 17, the brand new one I seen about 2 days before, drinking a $5 coffee. He didn't say, so I'm coming up with this. And they're like, well, I can't afford that. And you look, and they're wearing a Rolex.
Being a guy that sold phones back in the day, I'm laughing because there are literally people that would debate on whether they're going to pay their car payment or get a new phone. And I'm like, is this even a choice? Is this even a decision? And then get the new phone.
Look up the parts. I think that's what should happen.
Yeah.
I don't think the technician should have to go to the parts. I think you should freaking get the job, go ahead and write it up, diag it and stuff like that, get paid for the DBI. You guys go to your general managers at your dealership. Every time I walk in the dealership, you guys know who I am. Okay. My auto parts guys knows who I am. I'm going to go ride around with him. These guys are seeing this on TikTok, me talking about this. Okay. Go start pushing back. Okay. If all the mechanics in the shop, the technicians in the shop got back together or got together and started saying, we want to get paid 2/10 for the DVI, or we're not going to do the DVIs. Can they fire everybody? Okay. You guys got to start pushing back on the dealerships and on the manufacturers. Okay. I know a couple of dealerships around here are paying non-warranty time. They're making up the difference because these technicians weren't going to work for warranty time anymore. So they have to start pushing back. Now, a lot of the flat rate shops around me, there's 3 of them around me, 4 of them around me that I know the guys, their guys don't have no problem on flat rate.
Yeah.
They're pretty much am I involved in the shop running every day? Absolutely not. I'm usually in my back office doing other things. But I'm doing social media. What a time suck. But
time suck.
Yeah, it really is. For half the people love it, half the people hate. But I think it's really truthfully, I mean, from what I've broken down here, if you really think about it, it's not really a technician problem, it's a leadership.
It's a leadership problem. I was trying to go back and find the message from the guy that asked the questions about the policy and the procedures, and his guys that wanted a raise. But we got so many messages over Facebook over the last couple of days, I can't find it. But he had said something to the fact of he has a couple guys that want raises, and he was wondering how you create your policies and procedures in order to measure that, or basically written in a document of how you can hold them accountable.
Yeah. So we'll go with the first one. Jesse here, he's like, we do an episode on the effects of the technician's productivity, talking parts, service writing, and scheduling, and how it can affect the technician's downtime. It drives me crazy. My paycheck depends on the front of the house or front of the shop and the ability to have this shit straightened out in an order so I can make a living. We just covered that. So 100%. So policies and procedures, let's go over that again. You pretty much said it the best. Okay, you go to the hospital. First thing you have to do is our policy to collect the money for the procedure we're about to do. So the policies are the rule.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
The procedure is how we're going to do it. Obviously, going into an operating room is a little bit different than obviously pulling a car and pulling the wheels off to do a brake check. But at one time or another, you came up with a procedure in your head. I'm going to go out and get the keys. I'm going to go out and start your car and pull in the bay. I'm going to brack it up. I'm going to raise it 2 feet off the ground and shake it so it doesn't fall off the hoist. I'm going to raise it up, get our impact up. Okay, that's the procedure, right? That's how we need to do it. Policy is, I'm not going to pull that car in and take the wheels off until I see that I'm getting paid an hour and the service advisor has it approved for an hour. Why? Well, let's go ahead and break that down. I'm a flat rate tag. Service manager goes, yeah, pull Jason Tracy's car in. We're good. I pull it in. I rack it up. I take the wheels off it. I check it all out. It needs brakes. Hey, he said he doesn't have time. He wants you to take the car, put it back together. He's got to go. Shh.
Yeah.
He was the tech. Put the wheels back on, lower it down, pull it back outside. Guess what he never got approved for? Your time. So what does the policy solidify? It makes sure that the technician is getting paid. And that happens a lot. But yeah, I know this guy. Just pull it in, take care of it. Okay, if my guys do not have an approval, they don't do it. Now, I'm going to get flamed because of the tie rod thing. Okay, he got declined. My whole stance, and I'm still going to do this. We're still about having all the guys in there. I just haven't had time to get Nick and all these guys in here. You should have freaking tightened the nut, put a cotter can so nobody died. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not even going to go any further on that. I don't really care what anybody has to say. This is not about that. This is for the new shop owners that don't understand policies and procedures. Why? Here's another one that I started. I redid it a few weeks ago because we had almost another mishap with the new guy that didn't know the policy, read the policy, signed them all, but didn't really read the policies. If you have a car that comes in with a transmission problem or a check engine light misfire or anything at my shop, and there's 5 other things behind that, the check engine light or the transmission gets checked out first. Okay? The policy is, the rule is, check engine light, transmission problem, engine noise or anything that gets checked out first. Why? Well, what happens if we pull it in and it doesn't have, it has first gear only and reverse works. The trans is cooked. Hear me now, I'm just giving a generalization. You pull it in, check the codes. I really don't see nothing wrong with this transmission. I'm going to write for a transmission flush. So, oh man, these brakes need to be checked. This needs to be checked. This needs to be checked. Writes it all up. So the ball joints, tie rods, everything else in the trans flush. Gets it all done, goes to driving, goes to shift into second gear and neutralizes cars that go nowhere. Is that far-fetched? Yes, whatever. My point is, you should check out the transmission. So if the transmission's blown up, the things at end of life, the guy doesn't have no money, you're not going to check all the other 5 things out, which are an hour per problem usually, for another $500 or $800 when the transmission's bad. Because his thing is going to be like, well, the transmission was slipping. It said right there, transmission is slipping or whatever. So I'm just kind of generalization of this. I just want people to understand why we do it. It's got an engine noise. It's ticking, it's misfiring. I think it needs a tune-up. They don't freaking check it thoroughly. Oh, something got ball joints, tire rods, once again, brakes, all this stuff. We're just going to do a tune-up. You'll be fine. Get all done and realize one of the pistons has a hole in it. So now the thing needs an engine. Well, things got 190,000 miles on it. I don't really want to put an engine. I paid it off 8 months ago. I just been kind of limping it along. I would put brakes on and everything and do a tune-up and limp it along a little bit further. But screw it. I'm not going to put that money into that piece of shit. I don't really like it anymore anyway. I'm going to go buy a new car. Yeah, but you owe me for ball joints, brakes, tie rods, and everything else. So you sold me all this stuff and the engine was blown up. So you kind of see how it would be smart to...
It's a hard argument.
Shit like that happens at shops. It really does. If people say that never happens, they're crazy. It happened to us years ago. We had a shop that was by us that would bring his front alignments to us. I remember the truck was one of them 3,500 HD GMCs. They're pieces of shit. The tie rods were like $1 million on these things. It was a 6.5 turbo diesel, and everybody just cringed because them are the piece of shit engines ever. It was alignment and the check engine light. Well, I went out in the parking lot, and we had just gotten our alignment rack at that time, so I was doing all the alignments, so I knew how to, if we had any problems, I had helped the other guys once they started doing the alignments. So I go out there and crank it up, and it's missing. Like, man. So I cranked it, I disabled it, I crank it, you could hear it's got no compression on cylinder.
Yeah.
So I call him up, I'm like, hey, check engine light, this engine's blown up. What do you mean it's blown up? I'm like, it's blown up. Well, I look underneath it, it's got new kingpins in it. It's got new freaking tie rods over $1 million. This is a true story. It's got a whole brand new front end on it. But it needed an engine. And back then, nobody could get them engines. They were blowing up so much. So they did all this work to this guy's truck. Now, if I remember correctly, back then, like maybe in the late 90s, them tie rods were like $1,200.
Yeah.
They were the big tow bar.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I don't know whatever happened. Me and him didn't talk after that for quite a while because he said, you took too long to do the alignment. I go, it doesn't matter how long it took the alignment. It wasn't going, it was blown up. So he did all that front end work. So that proves my point. It does happen. Maybe you got good techs, but you also have other techs that don't really know what they're doing. It happened at our shop years and years ago, the Gale 363. Tell you where the bay was at. It was a Combine 350 with a 351 in it. Number 2 piston had a hole in it. The guy freaking sells them a tune-up, spark plugs, tie rods, ball joints, and everything. Guess what he wanted to do last? Got it all done, everything done. Hey, man. Hey, boss man. His name was Richard Parker. Hey, boss man, this thing's still running bad. I'm like, oh, yeah? So let's go check it out. So I walked out there. There's a years ago. Sure as shit. I just say, hey, well, I can hear it has no compression in one cylinder. I had to call the fleet manager. His name was Vince. Say, hey, this thing's got a blown up engine. He's like, yeah, but you just did all that work. I go, yeah, I got to take everything off except for the ball joints. So the thing got taken to the scrapyard and we sent the parts back and stuff like that. And the technician didn't get paid. So that stuff does happen.
Yeah.
That's why policies and procedures are really important. Like we talk about keys. Let's go on.
Oh, the keys. Yes.
Let's keys. It's $30. $6 an hour, right? Because the service advisor didn't follow procedure. It's policy and procedure. Okay, the rules were with the customer sitting there when you get to step whatever in our procedure, you print the key tag. What does that prompt? It prompts you to reach in the drawer, grab the key tag, the sticker came up. What is the next question you're going to ask me? You got a key tag here and the sticker for the key tag here. The customer standing in front of you. Can I have your key?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I get the keys? Yeah.
That's me. One day I thought, oh, we need key tags because key tags are cool. We used to have technicians and shop.
Shit, I could see it.
We all have that one technician that leaves the keys on his toolbox, does this or do that. Or you have people come in, you have 5 people deep in the morning, everybody drives a Ford. All of a sudden you have 5 sets of Ford keys because everybody drives a freaking Econoline now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely what's a little bit easier nowadays with the key fobs.
But still, you're going through key fobs and you're wasting 10 minutes trying to find the keys.
Where do we keys? Well, we have little keys. And it's on a yellow key tag on the keys. Okay. When it gets all done, the guys, the policy and the procedure is, the policy is you better freaking push the job back to the service right. We hit transfer. It pops up, ding. I have it really loud up there, ding. Okay, the technician walks up. He puts the keys in the little box behind the service advisor. Okay, at that point, the technician walks out. Service advisor does a thing. He takes the keys, looks, okay, we have folders, A, B, C, D, whatever. That way it's easier for us to find them versus I see some shops put them on key, but there's customers there, it's busy. You got 60 set of keys you're looking.
Yep.
So we just put them in the folders. The folders are there because we used to put the repair orders in there, but now we email everybody the repair order. Unless it's a DOT, we print the DOT. You know, this is all stuff that I've taken up. It's taken me a long time to figure out. And why did I do this? Number one, it stops what? Confusion in the shop. Okay. So not to mention, if you have policies and procedures in place for everything, sometimes a technician doesn't have to wander around to find the right guy to ask the question to. When the rules and the procedure is already in place for them to do it.
Yep.
And they're not wasting time, you know. I just don't know how to stress it more. If you have a good management team or good service advisors, they worry about these guys' paychecks. But the problem is a lot of these guys are lazy. A lot of the service advisors are lazy. You know, hear me now, there's technicians that are lazy too. But, you know, I think that there's the most 2 important people in a shop, in my opinion, are the front desk, service advisors, the greeting people, right? That's the gatekeeper. A service advisor could make or break.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then what do you have to have in a repair shop? All right. So your job should be always looking at how can I make this streamline a little bit better to make sure these guys make a good enough living, make sure the flow happens. You know?
Yep.
You cannot, in my opinion, you cannot over communicate with a customer. Some people are like, well, I don't communicate. I don't do this. A lot of times we pick up the phone here in the morning. We're up on Motor City right now. And we just go through the list and call everybody or send everybody a text. That stops them from calling us.
Yeah. Yep. That's a great strategy.
You know, it's very frustrating that these dealers, you know, and hear me, my wife's Yukon, I got the engine. We can never get a hold of the freaking service advisor. I had to drive across the street and go, hey, you don't answer your phone. He'd be like, yeah, look, I got like freaking 70 freaking voicemails. No. And I'm like, well, you better hurry up. You need a CSI score. Cost yourself a couple of G's.
Yeah, no shit. Watch out for that survey.
Yeah. We're going to keep flat rate play. But these management companies or management and fixed op leaders and whoever controls what the techs get and how everything works need to really rethink the strategy. Because think about it, it's only getting more complicated and people are getting more lazy. I keep saying that because it's true. Let's everybody stop and think about this. You walk into the auto parts store and you're 25 years old. There's a 17-year-old kid there that's had on backwards. There's a gray-haired guy standing over there. Who are you going to walk to? Let's be completely honest.
Oh, you're gonna walk to the older guy for sure.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of it, because that's the guy that it came up, he had to do his job. He would get trouble if he didn't. He would get fired. He would get theft. There's one dealer around us, and they just had sensitivity training not long ago. That you can't walk in a room and say, "Hey, man, what's up?"
That crosses the line.
Apparently, you are assuming.
Is it their man? Oh, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like trying to like, holy shit.
Yeah. So you only can imagine that dealership if you're a freaking shop foreman or you're somebody. How can you yell at a freaking parts guy for that parts? Okay. Now, should you walk around yelling at everybody all day long? No. But you should be able to look at a guy as a flat rate tag, go, parts guy, you've been dicking around on your phone for 20 minutes and I came back. You're supposed to have my parts here and you're still in the same place on your.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How many times? Think about this. My nose is itching like a muffin. How many times I have a cold? Listen, but it is fucking nasally. Should blow his nose. How many times if you walk in stores everywhere now? At the self-checkout at Myers, there's 3 people having problems at the self-checkout and the freaking person's up there on their phone. Scrolling. And I can tell it wasn't a work phone because they're scrolling.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. It's the new norm. Yeah, absolutely. And there'll be tons of employees and they're all just hanging out doing nothing. And then customers aren't being taken care of.
And that is a leadership. How many men you have these guys standing around pissing off all the customers? Okay, and that goes back to the bean counters in the ivory tower really don't know how this works. They're just trying to worry about the shareholders.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They do have no clue street level. It's like I told you could be a Democrat or Republican, whatever, in the White House. When he says we're canceling healthcare, we're putting Obama healthcare in, we're doing this, we're doing that, they never feel it. The people on the street level, it trickles down to all of us.
Yep.
And we feel it.
Yep.
That's the people up there. I mean, think about it. Like that guy said that Jim Farley came out and said that, $120,000 a year for tax. Well, your broke dick flat rate systems, the broke dick dealerships, not all of them, but most of them, these guys can't make.
I was to say, they're not making that
a year because of all the shit I just freaking literally read off. Because a lot of this stuff, believe it or not, does not happen in independent shops. Now, then the owner, because he realized, guys, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
The dealership is the opposite. You can tell, and I'm going to tell, looking at the camera, I will tell you guys right now, the dealer does not give a shit about you. You die, they'll be sliding somebody else in your spot here soon. And think about this. How many of you guys will go drop and move to another dealer for 50 cents an hour because you're not getting taken care of? Or even a pay cut, I've heard some of these guys say.
Well, and I think it comes down to, too, like a lot of independent shops, you've done the job. You've been the mechanic. Now you own the shop. And so you understand what it is to be in those shoes. And I say that because I think the other thing is like you're not afraid to ask that. You're not afraid to ask people to do the things that you would do. Like you have a high standard and you're going to add demand to that high standard from everybody.
I am my own worst enemy. I think everything needs to be tidied up and every freaking number needs to be in place. It's not even whoop its ass behind. You put number 2, in front of number 3 and you get them in line. Like I am like, I guess I'm OCD. Holy shit.
Discovery. Yeah.
You spend 15 minutes joke. Because you can't find it because you just do it in the drawer. And guess how much that cost you? It would have been cheaper to go to Harbor Freight.
New one. Wow. Put that in perspective. Yeah.
That's not being organized. And the smart guys on that post talked about that.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, the best guy. And then there's the guys. The best guy in the shop had a messy box. My box is messy too. But everything's organized. The sockets are in the sockets in the socket rail drawer. I have extra 15, 13s, 10s. I have 3 or 4 of them. So when I lose one, I don't have to wait till the snap on I would have another one. Okay. Them are the little things I would do.
And I'll include the pictures and I've included them in the one podcast, but I'll include the pictures again because I think
this is like little things that cost money. So you go to the YouTube channel. When we're still on Spotify, if you go to Spotify, it's a black icon. Black Repair Shop Reckoning icon. It's not the old one. We're having a hard time getting that taken down. And on Apple, but YouTube is where the videos are and stuff like that. Go subscribe and watch this. But you know, a lot of these policies and procedures are put in place. Now, I will say some of the policies and procedures of the dealerships are bullshit. They just waste people's time.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I said it before and I'll say it again. It's almost like the dealership is the house and the house always wins. It's like I was reading through CSI scores. I don't know what it was. They're talking about one guy said, I got a bad CSI score and my bonus deducted because the customer said there wasn't enough varieties of coffee. Another guy said they didn't like the snacks in the vending machine, so they got pimped. What the fuck does a service advisor or the technician
Have to do with the snacks in the machine.
they took money out of their check?
It comes down to like the dealership is like that corporate, and they make decisions and processes and procedures based off of an ivory tower, and not based off of efficiency, but based off of how they can get more money. It's how they can get more money, not the taking care of their people per se.
Yeah, and I'll give you two examples. One, I was reading that yesterday. The guy said that a lot of times they'll change the email address before the survey goes out with a fake email address when they know it's going to get found down there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's standard operating procedure. A lot of times these service advisors will do that.
Yep.
Stop them getting screwed. There's people that are saying in there that they lay awake at night before their bonus check praying to God they don't get a bad survey, and they'll get an email just about to have a stroke because they couldn't pay their house payment if they didn't get their survey.
Yep.
I was at the Chrysler dealer across the street from Garrett Auto and Truck, what used to be Suburban. Now I think it's a Sonic or Lithia. And I was at the parts counter we used to do business with them before they became scumbags. And there was a lady, they had like a snack bar, and there was a lady over there. She was a waiter, customer waiting for an oil change order. She was stuffing all the snacks in her pockets. I go to the parts guy, it's pretty cool. I go, what the fuck is up with that? Go, guess what's going to happen? I go, what? So she's going to take all the snacks. Then another customer is going to come in and there'll be no snacks. And they'll freaking give us a bad survey. So we have to watch that like a hawk every day to make sure it's always full as a parts guy. Because if not, we end up getting screwed. We end up getting a bad survey or getting dicked on the survey. I'm like, what does that have to do with parts? He goes, that's just the way the game is. He's like, then guess what ends up happening? Why are the customers eating so much? Because they're moving fast enough fixing the cars. They're here too long, so they're eating. We have them allotted for 1.3 snacks, and they're eating 1.9 snacks. I'm thinking to myself, is this shit?
This is insane.
Swear to God, like I never thought about how much coffee is in the front of Garrett Auto
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be like, yo, there's no coffee if Mr. Smith didn't have coffee. $2,000 fucking dollars. The guy be like, I would have ran the tip. Okay, let's talk about bad management.
Yeah.
Dollar person.
Yeah.
Dinner. We took 9 of us the other night. We all go there every year for the tomahawk steaks. They're like 2.5 pound tomahawk with the bone in. And it looks like freaking
like that's what I got the picture of the Flintstones.
And so finally they're like, well, we're gonna have to see you here. They're not leaving. Number one, that's management. It's all down. So I'm like, okay. So we sit down at the table and I'm like, I'll have a Coors Light. Jason's like, I'll have a Coors Light. Like, we're almost out of Coors Light. We only have 2 left. Do you think you want something else? Jason looks at the guy and goes, if you're at our shop right now, Kevin would look at you and go to the fucking store and buy a case of Bud Light or Coors Light, put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell him you're out.
Got money with you. Oh, we don't have it. Okay. Here comes the waiter back. And the waiter is the only guy that made the whole thing even tolerable. We go to order tomahawks. We're out of tomahawks. So let me get this straight. You're a steakhouse, you're out of tomahawks. Got it. What else you got? Oh, well, we got this porterhouse with a bone in it. Everybody orders porterhouse. Raw baked potatoes, raw baked potatoes. She's coming back and forth doing this. I should have said that. Comes back to the Coors. Hey, we're almost out of Coors Light. We only have like 6 left. Okay. You see a guy walk by with Coors Light. You're fuck. God, what? Just bring them out here so we have what out.
Yeah.
We order the steaks and the potatoes after that whole fiasco. He comes back. We have no baked potatoes.
So this is the 3rd time he's now back at the table telling you he's out of something.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this is muscle. He comes out and he's like, here's your tuna tartare. I'm like, or here you go. And I'm like, wait a second. We ordered that with the appetizer. Just like we've been waiting for 40 minutes. Our food should be coming out any minute. Would you like to enjoy this here? Would you like me to wrap it up? I go, I would have liked it to come out with the rest of the appetizers. We had a problem in the kitchen. Kind of not my problem. I wasn't being mean at this point. I'm trying to still salvage.
Yeah.
He sets it down. The guy's freaking scarf it up. Oh. We eat dinner. They clear the plates. We go to order dessert. Like, oh, the cheesecake. Guy comes back. He only has one.
You're kidding me. What's this place called? Oh my God.
He's like, well, you better on the thing. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I go, get the manager over here. This is freaking ridiculous. So I told the lady, I started out, she goes, I hear you're upset because there's no Coors Light. I go, that's one of them. Well, you have to understand. I go, oh, I have to understand. She had an attitude. You have to understand. We had a client that likes Coors Light, so we ordered Coors Light, but they didn't drink it all. So we just had it extra. I go, okay. And I go, you do not realize that everybody who used to drink Bud Light, not everybody, most of the people who used to drink Bud Light switched to Coors Light when Bud Light had their snafu with that person on the beer can.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, you have to understand this time of the year, everybody eats a lot of steak. I go, what does that tell you?
To order more fucking steak.
I go, my son, who's a restaurant manager, a huge restaurant like this, high dollar, he says he orders four double, quadruple of everything this time of the year. Because people come and buy. They have Christmas parties, people buy steaks.
Yeah.
I said, here you are. I go, you're out of Coors Light. I said, you're out of baked potatoes at your steakhouse. Well, we didn't order enough potatoes. People ate more. And you're out of tomahawks. Well, yeah. She's, no, she had the balls to say to me, well, did you tell them when you did your registration that you would want tomahawks? Oh, ma'am, that's a procedure problem on your part. You should go, hey, what are you guys coming in for? Christmas dinner. How many are coming? Enough of us. What do they usually eat? Steak. If you're worried about it, you would think you would say, hey. I said, but instead, you probably lost $1,000, $1,200 worth of steaks.
Man, we're out of breaks. Did you tell them ahead of time that you needed breaks? Like what the fuck?
Eight.
Holy shit.
Balls of sea.
They didn't tell you had to leave, did they? That's exactly.
Yeah, just go ahead and put it in a container. I'll eat it in the parking lot like I did a fucking steak we didn't have. Or tomahawk. Ridiculous. Manager did nothing for me. The bill was $1,800 freaking dollars. Okay. I do that every year with the guys. Last year we did their wives, or the year before we did their wives at that place. No problems.
Yeah.
But how do you think I felt walking out of that?
You'd never go back there again.
I'll never go back there again. My guys are like, the food was good. I'm like, yeah, the food was great. We just had to wait 5 hours for it. But like, that was poor leadership.
Yep.
The only person that made it freaking great was the freaking waiter.
Now let's flip this around. Let's say that waiter gets paid by survey.
Yep.
Right? He's the flat rate tech. He's making the experience. He's doing everything in his possible power. And he's going beyond his job because he's going to constantly deliver and tell you, oh, the kitchen doesn't have this. The kitchen doesn't have that. And if you did a survey based off your experience and he was paid off on that, he would be screwed.
My son actually told me that, I asked him about this, how they deal with the rooms. He said, Mr. Customer, you are renting this spot from 8 to 10. After that, somebody else is going to come and enjoy the same experience you just. We would kindly ask you to show up on time and leave on time so somebody else could have that experience.
Yep. That's it.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And management should have walked over to that other room that had rented out and said, hey, just so you know, there's another, no rush, but there's another group of people have this room rented to have a party just like you're having. So I would hope that you would kind of wrap it up so we can move them in here. Nothing was ever said. Okay? It's just horrible. It's the way they did it.
It's insane. And how many policies and procedures could fix all of that? Their ordering policy procedure. What is that? Or policy? Oh shit, that's me. No. It's the wrong customer base to do that with. Like, you're not going to go there and drop $1,800 and be like, yeah, we're going to come back here again next time. Like, you're spending the money. Anybody spending that amount of money wants that level of service. There it is. Oh.
Can you see?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's not bullshit. Okay, that's me and my guys went out for dinner. And that's the kind of service we got. You know, we never had a problem with that before. It was always great and stuff like that. But, you know, it kind of, that was a good point to bring up that you talked about, you know, what if that guy was on, you know, his pay dependent on everybody else doing their job. So I was a flat rate tech. Think about it.
Yep.
That guy fixed the car.
Yeah.
Car's fixed. We're happy.
He was the only one that made the experience.
And he was cool. He was like, dude, I don't even know what to say. He's like, I just don't even want to come back to this table every time. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to. You can't help that you work with freaking incompetent people.
Yeah.
You know, and the problem I have, like, okay, so guys are like, the answer to all this is a union. So Mr. A-Tech busts his ass to always try to make a good paycheck. Gets paid $40 an hour hourly from the union. The guy down the 3 stalls down that sits there and picks his ass all day is on his phone and doesn't do this and doesn't do that, makes the same exact thing as you. I don't think that getting rid of flat rate is the answer. I think fixing flat rate is the answer, or put some guarantees, or fix it so the guys can make money. That's what we did. And I'm sure there's other shops that do just have just techs that do just fine on flat rate. You know,
Well, and so I want to like circle around back to this guy, and he asked the question of he has a couple guys that want to get raises, right? And I think that you've done a really good job explaining the all of this part as far as that back end. You said you made a good point that there are lazy techs and there are lazy service advisors. How long does a lazy tech or a lazy service advisor make it here in your building?
don't.
And why? Yeah. Yep.
You can tell they something or they're full of shit. Same with the service advisor. You start talking, listen to them talk to customers, like, oh my God. Like I hired this guy named Matt, and he was there 3 days and I fired him. He was such a freaking clown. He comes in the second day, hey, can I get advance of my pay? You know, my Yukon payment is just, you know, a month behind in a repo. I'm like, no, you've been here 2 days. I'm not going to give you
2 days. That's pretty ballsy to come out from 2 days.
what. So he did something else. What he did. And I just like, dude, you have no clue what you're doing whatsoever. He yelled at a customer, and he's like, the customer didn't even do that. What do you want me to do? I'm trying to do the best. I'm like, dude, Jesus, that's you have no right acting like this. So I got rid of him. So anybody that's been in the business, you know, any shop owner or whatever, you pretty much can know. It's like you.
But so there's like, but a lot of people are managing their businesses based off of a gut feeling, and that's including raises. Your guys come to you, you feel good about them, like, oh, I should give them a raise. But then this guy's asking specifically, how do I know when they've hit that from a performance standpoint?
So
because you have your policies and procedures laid out, and we can, from those policies and procedures, you can find out pretty quick whether you have a lazy person. You can flush those out pretty quickly. How do you then measure
metrics? Okay. Now this is for each shop. This is management programs are okay for efficiency. There's some things that are just not great. Shoppers is okay, but we do it with a GPT where number one, we say, okay, Jason was here 40 hours. We divide it by what he produced, and that's his efficiency, right?
Yep.
And I actually talked about that earlier. But so efficiency, how can you give a guy a raise if you don't even know what he's producing a week? He's there 40 hours and he's only producing 20 hours.
Yep.
He wants a raise. Hey man, you know, I'm not making enough money. Well, yeah, you're not doing enough work either. I mean, it doesn't have to go hand in hand. That's what we need to tell this gentleman is like, okay, these guys all want raises. Absolutely. But what are you going to do? What are you doing? Are you producing? Am I screwing you by, okay, you've been a 50-hour-a-week guy now for 2 years and I never even paid attention, not making all this money as a shop owner? Well, that's a whole other conversation because you know who your superstars are in your shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what my guys do every week.
Yeah.
Every week when I walk in my office, payroll's sitting there and then the efficiency reports are sitting there. And I welcome, like, oh, hey, why did so-and-so only have 16 hours last week, right? Well, he had this job, and this job. But look, flip the page over. Oh, you're paying him 30 hours for this week for a job he's half through this week. So now really he's getting 36 hours. You only have 46 hours.
Yep.
I forgot what I was saying. And I make sure to take care of that way. So you can't really give people a raise until you really have the metrics in place to see what
if they're performing, they're hitting the metrics.
And this is where people don't understand how important the numbers are. There's one guy that came out, I don't remember who it is. He's like, I need to hire another person. How do I know if I can afford them? And I was like, you need to look at your KPIs. You need to do this. You need to do that. And my thing was like, go walk out in your parking lot. How long's your backlog? Well, I'm 3 weeks out. So if you hired a guy, could he do most of that work out there and just immediately start to work out? Yes. Well, he's going to pay for himself. You're going to make profit right away. Okay, you don't have to do any KPIs and all this mathematical bullshit. If you're a one-man show or a two-man show and you've got a month or 3-week backlog or even a 2-week backlog, you hire another guy and he's going to do that work and you're going to finish it, what are you going to do? You're going to make more room for more work. And your numbers are going to go up. So he's going to pay for himself. But a lot of these guys don't even know if they're making money or losing money.
Yep.
That's a big problem.
That's the big problem.
You know, a lot of times, like I said, a lot of these guys, really good guys, they're paying their guys more than they're actually making themselves, or you know, if they're not even able to afford to pay themselves. So you need to take a good look at efficiency with these guys. Okay, you know, he does 20 hours a week and he's here 40. Let's break it down. What's slowing him down? Nothing. I do the service advisor. I'm the service advisor. I walk out there and I hand him his parts. I sell him his jobs. We have a porter that pulls the cars in and out. This guy does nothing but turn wrenches. Well, obviously there's a problem with either the way you're billing it,
Yep.
not getting enough time, it's taking long on the jobs. Are you in the rust belt? This pays 1.2 hours. You know, and if it's rusty, you should have got 5 hours. Let's take a good look at why is this guy's production. So you're the shop owner, you're doing the estimates, you're getting all the time, you're taking his parts, you never have wrong parts. Everything is a perfect storm. He's doing 20 hours a week. It's a technician problem.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And we go back to, we don't have to say I'm talking shit because I laid it all out.
Yep.
So you got to figure out where the problem is. If guys produce at 20 hours a week, where's the problem? And I said it before, you know, some of these guys will have a problem at home and it'll slow them down. They literally can't function. We're all there. We're all there. We're human. Okay? They can't function. So for a couple of weeks while they're going through this, they don't turn a lot of hours. Some guys like, what do? Yell? I'm like, well, no, I fucking beat him. Yell at him. I just fucking go out there and hit him. You need to work harder. I don't care if the grandma died. And I hit with a ruler and then I tell him you have to work. And if not, you know, we get a big stick and then we hit him. If that don't work, we get a bullwhip out. Like, motherfucker, you need to 180% of no. You are human. And I really truthfully do not shave when my guys have a couple bad weeks because of a personal problem. Okay, I go out there and I got myself in trouble because I didn't put contacts before. And that's what Mr. Mastertech didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
And,
This motherfucker.
you know, I do walk on what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
it's one thing. I could feel bad for a guy and be like, dude, sorry. If you leave the tape rod don't loose, no cotter key, and I say you're a fucking dumbass, and you had your head up your ass, and he pouts for 2 days, I don't give a shit that he's pouting. That's what he deserves. Okay? And that goes back to the world we live in. You're not allowed to say anything to anybody because you might make him sad.
Yeah.
Gives a shit. Okay, people need to grow up. You want to get paid like a big dog?
Where he accepted responsibility and moved on. Yep.
Keyboard forget Billy Badass, Tommy Tough Knuckles over there. I would come over and kick your ass. Dude, whatever. It's like, come on.
Yeah. No, I think this was a really good breakdown. I think that if you listen to this, I hope he gets a lot out of it because I think that you walked right through everything.
Yeah, and I'm sure. So management goes, hey, your efficiency's down. I'll be like, yeah. Hey, Jason, Mr. Shop Foreman or whatever. We had 3 meetings yesterday at 15 minutes a meeting.
Yep.
It cost me $45. But then we're having a meeting to talk about my efficiency. Then we're going to have another meeting why it's lower. I think the flat rate tax should push back on all these people and say, we don't want to work for warranty time. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. And start standing up and start walking up to the service advisors going, hey, you need to pick this up. You need to do this and do that. Start pushing back. Cause an uproar.
Yeah.
If you guys want to change the industry that you're in,
you got to push back.
Push back. But you know what? A lot of these guys just want to run their mouth on the other end of the keyboard and do nothing about it. And, you know, there's guys that already know this game that don't have these problems. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Take care.